Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, there are just 33 days until Christmas 2021. And this week, we kick off the virtual Santa visits. So if you guys look at the link below, that's zoohoo.com/ID, and you put in Jingle 40, then you can make a reservation to have a virtual visit with Santa with me. So look for that if that's what you're if you're going to do that with your family. And I know that Mark just made a reservation this morning, and breaking news, they just came out with a 20% discount code. So right after Mark made his reservation, there's a 20% discount code that's good through Wednesday. That's good through Wednesday at midnight Eastern time. If you use Santa 20, you get a 20% discount off of your reservation. And Mark, I don't know if you can get that retroactively or not, but I know I know you made your reservation this morning, so I wanted to let everybody know that you can make those reservations live now using the link below. Jingle 40, that'll get my calendar up for you. And then if you use the discount code Santa 20, you can get 20% off your reservation. So again, if that's what you're if you're in the market for virtual Santa this year and you would like to do that with me, then you're welcome to do so. Or you can get another Santa. You don't have to take me. If you want to get somebody else, they do have Santas that are of different ethnicities and different backgrounds. So maybe you've got a hearing impaired and you need a Santa who is with sign language. They have sign language Santas who are proficient in sign language, not just taking the basic course. So you can get those as well. So appreciate all of your support. It's fantastic. And I see Meg in the chat up to her usual shenanigans. So there you have it. So guys, we've got a lot to talk about today. There's some really good. Yeah, Mark Mark got the full price. So there you go. Let me see. We've got a couple. I just get caught up here. No, thank you so much for your support. And we've got a lot of news to talk about today. And I've got my friend Jason here as well. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got tricked again. I went to zoohoo.com. I put in my code Jingle40. I was going to tell Santa I wanted a big old Rancor, and now I'm on a Star Wars show again.
Oh my goodness.
But here we go.
Hilarious. Talking about that Rancor, it has been an absolute nightmare for the folks over at Hasbro. And I watched this morning. They were talking about the pack for Ghostbusters. That's another Haslab project right now. It's $400. This Rancor's $350, and that thing is passing all of its milestones. It's increasing, and it looks incredible. Are you? I was looking. They've got some metal pieces on it. The features are great. It's absolutely a brilliant project, and it's doing quite well. Meanwhile, on the other side of the house, they've got this Rancor project, and they had a thing Friday talking about the additional unlocked tiers and all of that. And since then, like midweek last week, this was up around 5150, somewhere in the number of backers. You can see now it's down to, it was 4808 when I logged in. Let's refresh and see what happened. 47.99. It continues to drop like within the day. It's on this downward trajectory. Look, I think that I understand Hasbro's issue. Like, they want to be able to release the figures in the main line, and they know that the Rancor Keeper isn't going to sell. Nobody wants a shirtless fat dude in their.
I know, Santa. I know. Don't rub it in.
Yeah,
thanks.
Me too, my friend. Oh my goodness! But nobody wants to see that hanging on a peg at the store, and Hasbro knows this. But at the same time, how do you release a Rancor without that? And that's what's, collectors. You have to know that that's what collectors want, and just not do.
All right, Meg, I'm doing it, Meg. I'm doing it. It's
Don't
coming
do
up,
it.
Meg. No,
Don't do it. Oh my goodness. It's just I think it's a real issue. So um,
I will say though, I always wanted a proton pack, and Ghostbusters gets like the proton pack, and they get the trap, and then they're kind of done. Like that's the only thing about them. So I'm gonna give them this win if it was a competition, which is not.
well,
But
and that's what I mean. Just when you're thinking about a Rancor, and you got to think about, okay, what would this project look like other than, hey, it's a really huge creature and it's going to be cool. Okay.
right,
But then the rest of the meeting's got to be about, okay, what would the unlocks be? What would they look like? And would we achieve them? Um, that's where I don't know that they really, maybe they didn't have the right people in the room. They weren't, didn't consult with the collectors or something, because it's sort of a no-brainer for the Rancor keeper. And if they say, well, that's a deal breaker, we're not going to do it. Well, then don't do the project, because now
yeah,
you've got egg on your face. You look terrible, and this thing continues to lose backers, and they're kind of stuck. Like
yeah.
either they retool and say, you know what, we realize we missed the mark. Our apologies. You're going to give you the Rancor keeper, like, or just pull the plug on it because it's going to die.
Yeah. And one of these kind of things, like timing matters too. Like, for instance, if Star Wars Newsnet's report, which I'm pretty sure it is correct, has Boba Fett writing one of these things in an episode coming up in a few weeks, most likely now, or months at least, at the latest, we end up with a renewed interest in it. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
people will be more excited for it. So it might have been smarter to wait until after the Boba episode airs, where we see the Rancor or a Rancor again, and people might want it a little bit more. Might have helped.
Yeah. Yeah. And X-Wings, like, make the Rancor 200, add Maliki and Ula. Well, look, Ula's not going to get made. That's just flat out not going to happen. And it's primarily has to do with her wardrobe. They're just not going to do it. They realize the problems that they have with that. Same with the slave Leia
Wait,
costume.
look, can't wear pasties like me right now. I'm wearing pasties. I could have kept going. It would have been fine. It would have been fine. But I mean, they can just give Ula some pasties. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I, I I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you.
Hmm.
Do it like a Barbie, right? Oh my goodness! It's just they're not gonna make that character, and they're not so
Yeah.
the Rancor Keeper though just isn't gonna it'll be a peg warmer. Nobody's ever gonna buy it out of the store. I mean, so few that they're not gonna move them, and so they're just really. I did. That's not what I said, Meg. That's not.
Santa's very smooth like Ken.
That's not what I. That's not what I said. That's, so again, this Rancor's in trouble. I think that poor planning on their part. That maybe they didn't consult with the right people. They got people that were really geeked out about let's get a Rancor. And you're right about the timing bit. Like if Boba is going to be riding a Rancor, then the demand would go up. The problem is this thing funds in 14 days.
Yeah.
14 and a half days. So that's before we're going to see any footage of Boba riding a Rancor, and anybody says, oh, I really need that Rancor for my collection so that I can make this scene. It's just not going to happen. And, whatever Hasbro is aware of, and I agree, like the Star Wars Newsnet folks, I think they're correct in their scene leak that they put out, but we're not going to see that till mid-season or something, which kills the Rancor. It's
Yeah.
just not going to happen. And you
Right.
bring up a really good point. Well, we can transition topics.
Hey, smooth. Like Ken, once again.
Jason. So we have two articles here from Empire Magazine. And these are a bit of previews for the article that comes out Thursday, Thanksgiving Day here in the States. The Empire Magazine is available this Thursday, but we can see there's a little bit in this article. There's a little bit of discussion from Jon Favreau, and a couple of new images. Again, I think Tamura looks way better than he did last season in Mandalorian season 2, and of course Ming-Na Wen is amazing. But we go into the article, and there's a couple pieces here that are really good. And you brought this up, so I'll let you lead.
Yeah, well, it's just essentially Favreau saying that Boba is going to be fulfilling the power vacuum left by Jabba, and that Boba isn't necessarily an organization man. He's changing gigs. He's used to being the bounty hunter. But what was the word that Favreau used for the mode?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's coming up. So right here's the piece that you just mentioned that says there's a power vacuum that he's filling. But I love the quote down there that you mentioned here. We saw it right before. You got to get all the way in here, and here it is. You'll definitely see him have to turn into barbarian mode.
Barbarian
Oh boy,
mode.
there's your header. There's your your video title right there. Boba goes to barbarian mode. We saw a little bit of that in that season 2 footage of in that episode with Boba just hamming on the stormtroopers, right?
Right.
Just absolutely taking them out, and so you're going to see him have to turn into barbarian mode.
And the juxtaposition of that to Jabba is like pretty telling, because Jabba's almost like Caesar. He's very decadent. He's fat, laying on his side, basically, essentially having grapes put into his mouth. In essence, and so while he may be barbaric in his actions, he's not a barbarian himself.
Right.
But we're gonna see that Boba clearly is a hands-on guy, and so it goes into a place where you don't necessarily, I think, expect from somebody who's taking that job. So my guess is you're gonna have all of these hammerhead type dudes that are like, oh, you're just gonna hang out, but he's gonna be torching them with his blowtorch and stuff.
Yeah. Sort of go back to Mandalorian season 1, episode 1, right? I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. Like we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You decide. And it seems that they're going to want to do it the hard way, because he's going to have to go into barbarian mode on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is super exciting to see Boba just tearing up a bunch of stormtroopers. Was kind of got even folks like me and my friend Sheev the Wise, who are not big Boba fans, to say, oh, that guy ain't messing around. Like get excited about it. It's really good.
And that's always been my take about this project, is that Boba has skated for a long time on his looks when you really get down to it. And like, this is the opportunity to really fulfill the promise of the character, I like Attack of the Clones. I'm a fan of it, but he's a 10-year-old kid, and then that's really the only on live action development we have of Boba, and when he's a child, and it's like, so obviously he's middle aged at this point, but this is where he really I guess takes over Tatooine. So I think that's a good place to start with the character and filling it all in finally.
Well, and again, it looks like Tamura's lost maybe 10, 15 pounds.
And he doesn't have acid face as bad, which also helps a little bit.
He looks really good. He looks really strong, really good.
Yeah.
So it promises quite a bit, and I'm excited to see it. And all the guff that Lucasfilm's taken over the last week, 2 weeks, and earned guff, by the way. right? They
For sure.
like here's the other part. And I was listening to Star Wars Newsnet this morning, and this is what X-Wing was saying. What's this Boba riding a Rancor stuff? Oh, Star Wars Newsnet released it 3 or 4 months ago. And they created some artist renderings of what it might look like, but there's absolutely a plot leak that says that he in a scene he will be riding a Rancor, right? So,
Yeah.
but look, we just had Disney Plus Day, and followed by D23, which were largely absent of Star Wars news. We got very, very little, and this is absolutely Disney Plus content. Like, you release these articles after the fact; they're coming out Thanksgiving Day, which is going to kind of get lost to family activities and other things going on. Otherwise, it'd be a huge YouTube day. It still might be a huge YouTube day, but it may be delayed as people are not paying attention to YouTube while they're getting together for family activities, Thanksgiving dinner, watching some football, and all the kind of traditional Thanksgiving activities. This gets lost. Why not? Do this stuff, have these articles drop, even if you're not going to show the content on Disney Plus Day. These articles, like, they're obviously here. These are the trades. Empire Magazine's not some leaker. Like,
Yeah.
these are. It's mind-boggling. I just can't get my head around why this is coming out now when obviously it could have come out on Disney Plus Day. Makes no sense.
Well, I think from Lucasfilm's perspective, they know that it like this stuff right here is what will be on the internet before Thanksgiving, and I think they want to plant the seeds of what people will be talking about on Thanksgiving. I think that's where they're coming from. Whether it's a good idea or not, it's another question, though.
Well, leading up to Thanksgiving for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to hit big today. Both of these articles, the next one we'll talk about here in a moment as well. And Meg's question came up right here. Jason, what do you think? Do you think Favreau's words are hinting that the Jabba leak might be true? There were some rumors that that Jabba's tail, like the puppet of Jabba, was being put together, or at least of a hut.
Yeah.
Presumably Jabba was being assembled. And might this be hinting that we are going to get that scene?
So Meg saw a Jabba tail. The Tatooine guys have said that Han and Luke are going to make an appearance in it. And my working model of all of this to make this make any sense is that we do see Boba. My guess is that we do see Boba go into the Sarlacc, and they are recreating moments from Return of the Jedi in that montage of moments that lead to Boba going in and coming out. And so therefore you will need a CGI Han, a CGI Luke, and another shot maybe of Jabba the Hutt here and there to make it super exciting and quote over deliver for Return of the Jedi fans, right? Sure. And so that is my speculative guess.
Well, another somewhat good intellectual activity to do is anytime there's rumors or even confirmation. Look, we've seen a hut being assembled, right? We know the puppets coming together.
Yeah.
If they're building the assets, where might they want? They're going to want to leverage those assets as much as possible, right? So where else might we see that puppet used if they're going to assemble the asset? They're going to come up with this. To use in say a flashback scene in the Book of Boba Fett. Well, Jabba's around during Andor, right? Jabba's around during Kenobi. Kenobi's right there on Tatooine. When you start to think about the asset, just a good mental exercise to go through, right? I'm not at all saying that. Look, we're going to see Jabba in Kenobi, but it makes sense when you see that. Oh, he's on Tatooine. We already have rumors that people have seen the asset, so why wouldn't it, right?
Yeah, and on the other side of it, like I think Meg was only. I hope I'm not putting words in her mouth. I believe Meg was only able to confirm that there was a tail made, and it could be a CGI Jabba and they may be using that as a placeholder so people know where the tail would be, not to stand there for marking of the actors. There could be one shot of it could be CGI, and then they might have a close-up shot like where you know how there's that one shot where Salacious Crumb goes to almost bite Jabba's tail. He's like scanning it. It could be something just like that. And so until we know that they made more, and not that I know anything at all, but I haven't heard anything about them making the full Jabba. And I asked around, I was like, did they make the full thing? Like, if you saw the full thing, you tell me. If it's just the tip, let me know, as Meg says. And I
wasn't going to highlight that.
but I'm going to be honest with you right now. Meg is playing just the tip with it because that's all she's seen. So I don't know what to say other than it could go that way. But I have a feeling if they built the full Jabba, I think there would be so many leaks on it. I could be wrong, obviously, but I just feel like that's a hard thing to keep under wraps, and for people not to have taken 15 cell phone photos of themselves with in secret by now. You know, I mean, like I'll be honest, I've seen like 15 different Mandalorians from the new season of Mandalorian 3 right now, and right. But somehow I didn't see Jabba. I mean, that it's possible though, not to be egotistical on that front, but
right.
It just seems like something that would happen.
Well, and I'll remind folks that you also saw that it was presumably Black Kyrgyzstan, right? His head, right?
Saw a Wookiee, yeah, a right. Black Wookiee, and so it does kind of add up to that. And then there was a photo of a crew shirt of Boba shooting a Wookiee.
Oh,
yeah,
very exciting.
That has come out since then too. So
yeah, I think that seeing Black Kyrgyzstan, however you say his name, is a likely thing, and that's pretty exciting. It's going to be fun season, and as Meg said earlier, and I think other people, look, I hope that they really get us hyped up for the Book of Boba Fett. I think that they will, but at this point, it's kind of they're not really hitting it, and what are they waiting for? it's anybody's guess.
I think they value, I think they, as always, overvalue secrecy to such an extent that they end up kind of hurting themselves, because they still do have a lot of events that they have to reveal Star Wars content at before that content starts to hit as well. Yeah.
So Anthony asked a question earlier. I'll bring it up just because I want to acknowledge. Look, Anthony, I read your question. It's not really what we're going to go too much into, talking about the new trilogies coming up for Star Wars. I think that's so far off at this point that it's kind of it's complete speculation, unless you've heard something. But I don't know that it adds much to the current discussion in the franchise.
Yeah, Ray. I mean, it was nice to see Kathleen Kennedy touch on the fact that they will be delving into those characters to some degree.
So here we go. Again,
yeah.
Good job on the transition, Jason.
We're doing it.
Yeah, very good.
We're good at YouTube now. YouTube now.
You're nailing the transitions. Yeah, Jason is absolutely mastering the YouTubes right now.
Learning it. I got a blue light in the back now. I got white light in the front, blue light in the back. That's like the YouTube mullet.
YouTube mullet.
That's what I call it.
It's perfect. It's perfect, right? So party in the back, business in the front, white lights in the front, blue, Very good. Very good. So yeah, the other preview from this Empire Magazine bit is some discussion with Kathleen Kennedy, which again gets people all triggered just by mentioning her name.
Yeah, how's she even doing this interview if she's fired? Didn't anybody tell Empire that she doesn't work there no more? What?
YouTube mullet. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah. Of course, Meg was there when Kathleen and Daisy were having breakfast. She's looking in the window. What are you doing in there? Hey.
Mhm.
uh, but anyhow, Kathy is quoted in here, and there's a really good bit where she says that right here, the thing was most exciting was being on set. First of all, oh, I thought she was banned from Favreau's sets. How is she on set? I thought she was banned.
Do you want to hear something hilarious? Of all of the things that actually ever that have been fake and totally like just insanely made up,
Yeah.
that was the only thing I ever heard that resembled anything like what they say. Was at one time she called a meeting or she started addressing the crew while Favreau was making his thing, and he was like, "Hey, this is my production. This is my thing. You ask me, and I'll give you 5 or something like that."
Right.
And that was and it wasn't like that big of a deal. But
Right.
that was the closest thing that ever happened to what they said being true.
Yeah, I hear like a New Yorker's accent. Hey, we're working here.
Yeah.
Like,
Homer and
come on.
Ghostbusters 2. Hey, I don't try to stop your job. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm hearing. We're
Yeah.
working over here. Get out of here. But so she's fired and banned from set. How is she watching the two of them? So anyhow,
Yeah.
said the thing that's most exciting was being on set, watching the two of them get excited. They hadn't seen each other in a long time. I was surprised how incredibly emotional it was for each of them to find themselves back in these roles and realizing how important Star Wars to each of them was the beginning of their careers. Really, really. Green Bear, worst New York accent ever. Sorry. Sorry.
Listen, jerky. My name is Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm here to tell you I ain't fired. All right? Is that how it goes? I don't know.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah, it's perfect. No, this is great. They were emotional about it, and seeing them slip back into those robes and seeing them on set and how emotional it was for everybody. It's really.
Oh my God! Clone Wars flashback. She said robes. Darth Vader wears robes. Just gonna say it. Darth Vader wears robes too.
Well, and again, to keep in mind, this is McGregor and Christensen. So this is Hayden and Ewan together on the scene. Jason just took the title from Santa.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So somehow he managed to do a worse accent. That's great. Come here to hear bad accents. The one I haven't tried yet is my British London accent. Maybe I'll do that after I visited and get it, be fully immersed in the London scene. Maybe I can try to impersonate a UK accent when.
I'm gonna go undercover as Star Wars Greg. I'm be like, oh, hello everyone. I'm Star Wars Greg, Star Wars Meg's brother. Do you think that'll work? I've come to watch Kathleen Kennedy eat. What do they eat? Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. Oh my goodness!
No, that won't work. That won't work.
No. Now, a challenge for your friend Sketchy Rob. He has to give us a New York accent.
Oh yeah, he could do it. Rob is the guy.
Yeah. So your show later today, I expect to hear Rob do a New York accent.
I won't forget. Right after I steal your title of what was it? Barbarian.
Boba Fett goes to barbarian mode.
Barbarian mode.
That's it. That's it. So look, this is super exciting. And this article comes out Thursday, which is head scratching. Why it wasn't on Disney Plus Day. This is all Disney Plus content. It's a great kind of hype just to get people excited about Disney Plus Day. Why not get this stuff released so that people can be talking about it and you get some positive energy coming out of Disney Plus Day, even if you're not sharing the trailers, which would have gotten you some criticism, but at least you've got this. It's really hard to understand how it comes out like a week and a half later.
I actually have the answer, by the way, for that. I messaged a buddy And I said, WTF? And they wrote back, I know. And they said, it wasn't for us. They're a Star Wars fan too. It wasn't for us. So Disney Plus Day was for your cousin Sam, who doesn't follow anything, who doesn't know anything, and just like, oh wow, they're making an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. That's and it did the job. That was what it was supposed to do. But
Yeah. Well, it followed by, we get this that came out over the weekend, right?
yeah,
It's again not covered officially. This comes from a trade. Hey, Green Bear, celebrating 3 months of membership. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support over the time. So they cast Ahsoka. This again from a trade, not from a Lucasfilm.
No, but it was in it ended up in Variety as well. So
Right.
When you hit that, that's when you know it's legit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this is a fantastic cast. Natasha looks so much like Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking into more of her character, I just like
She is not ugly.
No,
She is
no,
not ugly.
no, she's not. And of course, I go to IMDb, like, okay, where do we see her? And they've got some information. I saw that she was in one of my favorite musicals of all time, and I absolutely love it.
Cats.
She's The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So she was a named character in The Greatest Showman. She also has a background with martial arts. She's got a black belt in Taekwondo.
And she's a lawyer.
I love this
I saw
story.
that.
I love this story. It says that, where was it? Having deferred a law degree to pursue work in film. This is like my parents. Like, so I had a full ride scholarship to college coming out of high school. I went to 1 year. I dropped out of college and joined the Army. They were so happy. Like,
Really?
No, they weren't.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was gonna say. I was like,
No.
huh.
You're throwing your life away. What are you doing? I'm sure that she had a similar kind of thing. Like she said, law degree where you can make a lot of money and have a solid career for your entire life. No, I decided I want to go work in film instead.
Oh, but you know what? Our daughter, she's not ugly. That's probably what they said.
Maybe. I'm just thinking she might have gotten a little blowback from her parents when she said, about that law degree.
Yeah.
I decided I want to go work on movies. Yeah, exactly. So X-Wing nails it, right?
But
Joke's
now
on
she's in
you,
Star
Mom and
Wars.
Dad. I'm in
Yeah,
Star Wars. There,
exactly.
take that. And like the greatest musical of all time, I absolutely love The Greatest Showman. What are your thoughts on The Greatest Showman, by the way?
I've never seen it.
Jason,
I've never seen it.
what are you doing with your life? What are you?
I was watching Cats. They were erasing the butts in Cats, and I was just thinking about that the whole time.
That and making Rob rewatch the holiday special.
Yeah. And then the man came after me and took it away. They
absolutely
took the
did.
episode away.
Meg, I thought we were friends, Meg. This just shows.
Qui-Gon's in Les Miserables, if that's how you say it.
Yeah.
The movie.
She's wielding a sword literally minutes after being trained to do so a few feet. Oh, look at that. Jumping Jamie. Very good. I got to go back up. I saw he worked with her.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Our good friend Jumpin' Jamie. And, he has a really fun YouTube channel he does with his wife and his daughter. They're absolutely great. They're a wonderful, wonderful family. And I got to do some promos for him. So I made a guest appearance on his YouTube channel here recently. and I think I'll show up again. So you guys go check out Jumpin' Jamie. He's a great friend. He's been in our YouTube community as well as our Discord community, and gives us a little insight to the behind the scenes stuff from time to time. So this is really cool. So yeah.
And
Like I said,
Weezer wrote a song called Jamie about a lawyer. It's all connected, man. It's all connected.
it all fits together. Yeah, so she's wielding a sword literally minutes after being trained. Very good. Very good. That's cool. That's really cool. Jamie wins the coolness award for the day.
Yeah, was it a dark saber by any chance? No.
By any chance.
Jamie,
Oh,
are you
my
in Star Wars? You gotta tell us if you are. It's like if you're a cop and you want to sell drugs, you have to tell us if you're a cop, Jamie.
Well, you know what those NDAs are like. Like even if he was in it, he would say he's not in it. Like,
Yeah.
Star Wars. What is this Star Wars you speak of? Never heard of it.
No, I was in Joshua Tree, the production. Yeah.
Meg. Yeah, Meg. The Greatest Showman's an instant classic. Yes, exactly. I'm too into the yellow rate. Like, very good, Meg. Very. Yeah, I wish. Well, again, like even if he was, he'd have to say he wasn't. That's just how those NDAs are. No, I think they did a great job with casting her. Super exciting to see that she's in there. And I was listening to Star Wars Newsnet saying that they did some screen testing for the Lasats, like a live action Lasat. I went out and I looked for it to see if I could find it anywhere. And I could only see like fan made stuff. I couldn't find anything of any screen tests like that were actually done. So have you heard anything about screen testing?
I never heard anything about that at all. In fact, I think a few weeks ago, me and Meg were having a discussion in somewhere in some way about how would they do a Lasat? Would it be CGI? Would it be a puppet? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would they even do that? Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But when I heard them say it, I instantly went to the Googles because the Googles knows everything. And I searched. I found some images, but it was all fan made stuff. I couldn't find any articles about them screen testing it. So.
Yeah, and with the new stuff that's coming out, like I said, I know that they're making the Ghost. I know the Ghost is going to be showing up, and but I haven't heard anything about Zeb at all. I mean, nothing at all.
Yeah, and the reason I bring him up too, not only because Star Wars Newsnet's article or their story that's coming out, they also Meg. Talked about having Hera Syndulla and the other ghost characters, which would include Zeb, but I really don't know. Yeah, Zeb would look terrifying in live action. Maybe. Always go back to Beast in the X-Men. Like they pulled that off. You would think they could pull Zeb off for a live action as well, because that's not like new. Beast that's what 10 15 years old.
Well, and look at what they did with Ahsoka. They made changes to Ahsoka's design to fit their live action model of what they wanted. So I think when it comes to Zeb, I think they'll change anything that they need just to make it work.
Yeah. X-Wing. Oh, X-Wing. Oh, you're great. Absolutely wonderful. The other bit of this is, look, the Ahsoka series seems to be directly picking up from that Rebels post.
Which would mean no Zeb, right?
Right, because he and Callus went back to the Lasat land.
Yeah. Lasat City.
Right. So I do. Yeah, there. Meg's dropping a hint. Not only is she saying she wants to see it, but there's, we're. X-Wing. Did you get in on that project where you get one piece a month over a period of time, and you build a half scale R2? that's a really cool project, and like it works with your phone. You can send commands to it and all kinds of stuff. They're pretty cool. I thought about doing it because it's affordable as far as like a monthly subscription goes. It's like $30 a month or something like that, and
Yeah.
it should it would be certainly something you could afford to do, and it'd be fun to do for over a period of time. But you mentioned, and here we see I want Chopper. Lots of talks with Chopper. I would think that that's a safe bet as well. Like the Ghost.
Chopper's already made. They've already handled that. He was in Rogue One. I've seen the model a few, or the real one. I don't remember the guy who made its name, but yeah, they brought him around all over the place, back in the day. So I think Chopper's for sure, because I know that Hera is coming. I know that it's like it's an obvious thing, but like I know for a fact that Hera's coming. Like for what that means a lot to me, anyways. So
Well,
with that in mind, Chopper will be there.
yeah, I'm really wondering about her showing up in the Ahsoka series, or there were all the rumors about the Rangers
Yeah.
series, really including Hera and the Ghost crew. And are they going to include her in that or not? Is she going to be in the Ahsoka series, or is this Sabine and Ahsoka going after um, uh, Ezra and Thrawn? So
Yeah.
it really raises tons of questions about that.
And do they bring the kid?
Right? Is Jason there? Like, what's the
Yeah.
deal? I think there's all kinds of questions about that. Do you think Zeb would be prosthetics or CG? Probably some combination of both, I would think, Jamie. Um, so like they did with Jar Jar, right? So Jar Jar was acted by Ahmed Best, but he had prosthetics on, and then they CG'd over it, right?
They wanted to just do a CG extension on Jar Jar, but it was
Right.
so expensive to blend it. They just used the suit and then did it over him. But I think today they can do mocap
Yep.
just so good with prosthetics or CGI.
And which raises the question, because there were some rumors that uh, oh shoot, our mocap guy from Lord of the Rings and from The Last Jedi,
The
what's
circus,
his name?
Andy Circus.
Yeah, Andy's. Yeah, that he was seen around the sets, and there were lots of speculation. Are they bringing Snoke back because you see Andy Circus there?
Yeah,
Uh,
my people saw him on Andor
right.
and involved with Andor, and I don't know to what extent or to what it means.
Right. So I don't know if that means Snoke. Like people make the connections. I'm not convinced it's Snoke. I do think it very well could be. Um, it could be him doing mocap for maybe Zeb or something like
I
that.
I had a friend FaceTime me when they were doing the Snoke stuff for not Rise of Skywalker, for the Last Jedi, and I thought Snoke was a puppet, and I ran a report saying that Snoke was a puppet because they were using the puppet for the scenes that they were filming with Rey.
Oh,
And you just when it comes to that stuff, it's hard to figure out.
so who would you pick as the live action version for Hera? I'm terrible at fan casting. Like I'm totally not. I'm inept. I cannot do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, that is a situation where the voice actor could literally do it just fine. And so you have that kind of scenario. And then, but when it comes down to is, yeah, we're not doing the casting calls. We don't know what it's like when they're doing the roles, and it's, Walter Matthau was tried out for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and until you see it, you have no idea exactly how crazy it was. But the
Right.
SNL skit's hilarious.
And I'm a huge fan of Cersei Ronan, by the way. I a huge fan of hers, and I would love to see her brought into Star Wars.
I met
Uh,
her at a E3 a few years ago. She was doing some PlayStation game, and she was pretty into that stuff. I
she's
think she
really
would.
cool.
Yeah, I think she'd commit to it.
I love her. I think she's a great actress, and I would love to see her brought in. But that's who knows? Is it Harrison Dula? I don't know. Like you said, it could totally be the voice actress, and so far the only person we've seen do that is
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, right? But we haven't seen any of the other voice actors kind of go both ways.
And I would imagine Steve Blum would be Zeb if he is in it, because he's the voice of it. It's so like, and I don't know if he'd be the guy in the suit necessarily, but I would imagine he would be the voice. I think that's an Anthony Daniels situation on that one, personally.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's see where we were. 47.99. What's it done? 47.98. They lost another one while we've been talking.
I blame us. So like, Boba Fett could write it, and he's not. I'm out.
So we've talked about a lot of other stuff. We do want to kind of wrap up. What was the theme? And this again comes to us because of a question that was asked to me in a YouTube comment. And by the way, if you guys would like to suggest a topic for Jason and I to cover after this, we'll absolutely welcome that. Join our Discord and come here and let me know what any show ideas you have for Jason and I to discuss, or we'll just make them up ourselves.
Yeah,
it's your fault if we do something you don't like. If you don't give us something, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, if you leave it up to me, there'll be like a 10-hour dissection of the script for episode 9 that they didn't make. So
there you go.
You don't want that to happen, do you?
we don't want that to happen. So yeah. So the question was, it comes from this by Udav Bhatia, who, and hopefully I got the name somewhat correct, who asked me
right.
The question. Says the prequels were about the overarching theme was the fall of the Republic, democracy, and the rise of the Empire. In the case of the sequels, I didn't understand the theme. Could you explain what that theme was? So I did want to. Oh no, Martin Keeler, employment rights for elves. That's not Star Wars, Martin. No.
I agree, Martin. I agree.
So the overarching theme for the sequels, I will open with this Wikipedia site. Now again, Wikipedia is not necessarily the end all be all of sources. I get it, but
it's not bad. It's not bad. It has a bad rap, but it is usually pretty on.
Right, because anything that gets in there is that's unreliable typically gets reversed by reliable, because just the preponderance of submissions. So
Yeah.
Yes, you can get bad information into a Wikipedia, but typically it doesn't last very long. So they bring up here, and they bring up some great points in here. Maybe we'll come back to it in a moment, but because there's some stuff in here about what George Lucas had originally planned for the sequel. So we'll see where the discussion takes us. But just to bring up the topic, what would you say the overarching theme of the sequels is?
Yeah, I think it's essentially finding your place, returning home, and the maid family. I mean, I think that's the one thing that goes through all three of them, that you start with and you end with. In the first one, you have Maz Kanata saying like, you need to stop looking for your mom and dad. You have everything you need right here. And then in the last one, Rey Skywalker, and she's with them. She's no longer looking. She's found Grandpa. He's alive, kind of Grandpa, whatever. And then yeah, and I am going to give Udav I'm going to throw in with Udav a little bit though, and say that you know what, it's kind of thematically weak a little bit in certain ways.
Yeah, I will. There's one criticism the sequels get that I think is fair. That it's a almost carbon copy of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
As far as overarching theme, the similarity is undeniable, right? Like you get a small band of resistance, rebels, you name them what you want. You've got the Empire or the First Order is the overarching power of the universe. You have the same bad guy, Palpatine, ultimately.
Yeah.
and it's about the small group overpowering the large to free the galaxy of tyranny. Essentially, that's the overarching theme, and it mirrors the original trilogy. So maybe it's not original in that perspective. Maybe it doesn't bring anything new from that perspective. Like the prequel trilogy is distinctly different in overarching theme from the original trilogy. The sequel trilogy is not distinctly different from the original trilogy from that perspective. But Jason, you bring up a really good point that the overarching themes can be multi-tiered. Right? If you want to look at, and I completely agree with you as far as like the family you have versus the family you choose, or the decisions we make define who we are, not our so to speak destiny, right? Like your decisions make a difference in who you are. You're not destined to fill some role because your parents, your lineage, your heritage, any of that. You can choose to become good or evil, right? Uh,
Yeah, and that's like one of my, I guess, one of my critiques of Ray. Like, I actually really like Ray. I think I like Ray mostly because of Daisy Ridley, because I think she's likable. But Ray kind of, really, all that Ray has to overcome throughout the whole thing is just accepting that mom and dad aren't going to come home, and that she's going to be okay. That with a new family. That's all. Like, there's no, the darkness within her. It's not a real. There's not a real big issue there, and they filmed a lot of scenes with Ray that they ended up really kind of throwing out for the most part, of her drinking and stuff, and
oh,
yeah, of her, like of her, she gets drunk in Maz Kanata's castle in episode 7. She they and then when the episode 9 script that was done by what's his name, the Jurassic World guy, when he did his, he had Ray having drinks and stuff like that too. And I thought that it linking all of that stuff into her mom and dad being drunk and her not being that, and
oh,
her being better than her parents, and that idea, I thought that was such a better place to like take it in the end. You know what I mean? The fact that you aren't your parents is like, that's a big way. I mean, repeating the mistakes of the father or the mother, whatever you want to look at it. It completely, like, Ray doesn't really have that big of a problem. What was Ray's thing? I'm not gonna go and I'm not gonna stage a coup against democracy. That was her grandfather's issue, and she doesn't have that. And
yeah.
but like all of the other characters, like Poe doesn't really have one, and then Finn stops running, like, as we talked about. That's the only thing that happens in all of them, are those couple of things. And it's kind of the problem with it being a 9-part saga, because there are 9 of them. It has to wrap up, supposedly, the previous 9 films and then these new characters. And so in the end, it kind of doesn't do anything. I love it for as an empt as it is. We did not end up anywhere that we weren't already at the end of Return of the Jedi after the sequel trilogy.
Right, and that's why. Look, everybody
Thematically.
knows that I am a shill for the sequels. Right, I'm a Disney shill. I've earned the title. And
Disney dollars.
Meg loves to bring it up. I'm still waiting for my first shill check. By the
Me
way,
too.
I
Me
haven't
too.
gotten it yet. I've tried really hard to earn it, but
It's coming.
then
It's coming, dude. It's coming. Just keep shilling.
okay, I'll keep the shill going. Keep it alive. Keep the shill alive. That's my motto for 2022.
Let the past die. Shill it if you have to. That's my
Shill if you
motto.
have to. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I look. I love the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I really really do. I think it's for me personally far better than the prequels. I enjoy rewatching it. We just rewatched the entire saga again with our daughter over the last couple weeks, and I've truly truly enjoy it. We were watching the Force Awakens, The Last Jedi over the weekend, and again, my wife, Kathy, my wife,
Mm-hmm.
who said she loves the
Are
the
you
sequel.
Frank Marshall?
I just,
You are a shill. No.
people have mentioned that that Sheev and I both have our significant others are named Kathy, and so who knows. But that she really loves Rey's character, and I love Rey's character. I love the sequel trilogy, but I think it is I think that it is a fair criticism to say that it shares a lot with the original trilogy. You can embrace that and say that it is what it is, or you can criticize it for it. I think it's a fair criticism. Uh,
Mhm.
I, Sheev, did you break up with your girlfriend? I thought you were. I thought you. I thought your girlfriend's name was Kathy. Wait a minute. Where's Meg? I thought for sure that you told us that your girlfriend's name was Kathy. What happened to Kathy? Oh, Meg started that rumor. Okay.
It's okay.
It's much like Meg's.
I hear Kennedy. I start thinking of Chappaquiddick. I'm like, foul play. Something's going on. So
It's much like the rumor that I have started of Meg's adoration of the yellow lightsabers. It's much like that.
can I say something about that really quick, just really briefly? The yellow lightsaber for me is like the original lightsaber because of my Kenner Luke Skywalker. Right. As a kid, I'm like, it's yellow, and I like it. And then they don't change it. They never changed it, and it was weird to me as a kid. I'm like, why do they keep doing this to the little farm boy Luke? But
you're right. The yellow lightsaber does go back all the way to the OG, like the very first toys that came out. The yellow lightsaber was it. It's not a new thing. It harkens back to the very beginning, the roots of Star Wars, if you will. It goes back to the yellow lightsaber, and not only that, but I love that it was used in Rebels for the kind of sentries, the people who are
in Clone Wars, the Jedi police, as I like to call them, Jedi cops.
Yes, exactly. So I think there's a strong connection to the yellow lightsabers. I love them. So I have no issue at all with it, and I love to spread the rumor that Meg also has this affinity for yellow lightsabers. So
Meg Skywalker, yeah, I know her.
Perfect. Yeah, Meg, Kathleen Kelly, Skywalker. There you go. So, look, I think the criticisms are fair when it comes to the sequel trilogy from the folks that pick up that the themes thematically. It's not new, but because it does mirror so much the original trilogy. But at the same time, I think it's fair that what you brought, like this theme of your decisions, right? Like this free will, your destiny doesn't determine who you are. Right. You determine who you are by your actions, your decisions, and that. And as I pointed out before, it's the together we stand, divided we fall. It's that theme is clearly there. That at the end we see when the people rise up against the tyranny, they can overcome. Right. I think that's a good message, even though it may share some of those things. I just think it's really, really Martin.
Yeah. And I feel like the themes of the sequel trilogy are somewhat arrested by Jedi police cops. They are somewhat arrested in the sense that this isn't it. They internally are well aware that if anything they do works, there's going to be a ton more. And Star Wars isn't a trilogy. It hasn't been a trilogy since 1999. And they're pretending like it is, like these are trilogies, when there's going to be more Rey, Finn, and Poe at some point in some way. And they don't want to write themselves into corners. Like they don't, you know what I mean? If you have when you have Han and Leia together and you want to do something after Return of the Jedi, now they're a couple. The dynamic is completely different from everything that anybody loved about it. So it's like, in a way, it's like almost like they want to be able to keep things going. And I feel like that stopped the themes from being tighter. because they don't want to put Rey and Finn and having their family be on Tatooine where they're training Jedi kids at the end, because now they have to deliver that. And
Yeah.
so in the end, it was just more about like a ride, and there are themes in there, but they're just like very accessible. Like, oh, the family's the one that you make, and
Right.
it just leaves it all open and doesn't give us anything necessarily that we know will last. And I don't think that even if it was tighter, that we would know if it would last. You just never know, like what's going to have lasting power and what isn't.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it hurts it, I think, though.
Yeah. I look again. I want, I want to emphasize. I love the sequels, and
Same.
I can see the through line between them, and to me, it's a great story. However, the criticisms I can acknowledge. I can acknowledge, and what you're kind of touching on there is we didn't have that really clear uh, story defined ahead of time. There was a loose kind of thread that they had laid out, and then they gave the movies to each of the directors to develop. And by not having that real firm kind of story outlined, then it opened it to get these criticisms that it's disjointed, and that through that disjointed kind of approach, then it kind of breaks down and isn't as Meg pointed out, it stops it from being tighter.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It could have been more thematically defined had they made sure that those things were hit on. And again, for me personally, Rise of Skywalker is the most egregious at at breaking it down. I thought that through Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, they had some momentum, and then Rise of Skywalker kind of just didn't didn't rise to the occasion. Put it
It
that way.
just, it did the bare minimum of everything that it was required to do, and it went home.
Yeah,
And I think it probably does speak somewhat to the only thing that I think a committee can agree on is that Star Wars is about family. George
yeah,
Lucas said it, and that's ultimately what it's about. At least the Skywalker saga is about
right.
family, and so they kept it about family, and that's the only thing that actually and families associated with home. So
Yeah.
so that's what we get into it, and just to make Meg say something that you don't want her to. Too many fingers in the pie doesn't make a tight movie. Just going to put that in there. And that's what we had.
I'm not even gonna.
That's for Meg,
and
because I know
and
she
Mark, I can neither confirm nor deny that I have seen anything on Meg's After Dark channel. I will not confirm nor deny. Oh my goodness. There you have it. Meg replied to your comment. You're welcome. Another comment
Mhm.
I will not be highlighting on the chat.
This is why you need to be in the chat, you guys, because it's good.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And look, I would like to get into this article, and maybe we will touch base. I think you were bringing up the sequel trilogy that was planned but never made.
Hmm.
And in this article here, there's a lot to unpack out of this the Wikipedia article where they talk about some of the early development and what George Lucas had talked about. Like in the early '80s, he basically said, "Look, it's done. There is nothing else. There's no sequel trilogy, and if I die, I have explicit instructions that says no more movies, no
Right.
more." And then later, he where was it? I think it was in here, 2007. It's an idea that seemed amusing but doesn't seem realistic. Suggested that he had made some off the cuff comments earlier, but it was never construed as absolute statements. In 2008, after all 6 films have been released, he said the movies are a story of Anakin and Luke, and when Luke saves the galaxy, redeems his father. That's where the story ends. So that was 2008.
And then the 2008 financial crisis came, and all of a sudden there was a story.
Yeah, and he says there will definitely be no episodes 7 through 9 because there isn't a story. So that was in 2008. 2011. So just a couple of years later, he was invited to breakfast, blah, 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 blah. And it says in 2012, after being disappointed with Red Tails, which, by the way, he was upset about that. Red Tails was a stinker. And he got really upset with some of the criticisms he got from Hollywood, from the press, and was not received. He got really mad, really mad, and that's when he said he was planning to retire. And he asked Kathleen Kennedy to lunch and asked if she would co-chair at Lucasfilm. Look, it's your all's fault for not watching Red Tails.
Dude, I was about 8 or 9 years old reading about Red Tails. About, hey, I'm going to make this movie called Red Tails next year. And he was saying that when I was like 8 years old. And then it finally got done, and it was I think it came from a good place. It was trying to make a Star Wars movie about World War II pilots for African Americans. But it was also done he wasn't the director, but then he took over and directed some of it at the end. It just was an interesting idea, but it just didn't really come together.
Well, no, he was accused of being racist and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it took a lot of heat.
Yeah.
A lot of negativity. And so it says she began working for him in June 2012. Lucas soon proposed that they work together on the sequel trilogy. Like 2012, he had changed his mind. And we do know that he did have some treatments for that going forward. So I would like to break this down. Maybe we'll talk about that going forward. We've gone over for today, but this could be maybe where we pick up next week.
Sounds
and we
good.
can talk about the sequel trilogy treatments that Lucas had.
Yeah, and there's actually absolutely there's other things too that come even before that we could pepper in there. That might be fun from like Mark Hamill and stuff. So
perfect. That would be great. So Jason, again, this was great. Look, you nailed the YouTube today. You know, you get all the marks. You hit all the transitions. You
YouTube mullet.
The YouTube mullet. You've got that. You've got your title for your show.
We got one written by Star Wars Santa, kinda discovered by Santa.
Discovered, right? I mean, it writes itself. It's right there in the article. All you have to do is pull it out. There it is. Oh no!
That's it. Thanks, Empire.
Meg didn't hear me say that, right?
No. Don't acknowledge it. It gives it power, Santa. It gives it power.
It's not. Oh no! Again, you know, things come out. I say things and I instantly regret it. And there's another one. I just instantly regret it. It's like
That's my whole life.
I shouldn't have said that.
I know where you're coming from. I feel you.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who's the character that says that. I shouldn't have said. Oh, Hagrid in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Hagrid. I feel like Hagrid a lot. Like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Meg. Oh, Meg. Think about baseball, Santa. Anyways.
I'm out.
Anyways.
I'm out. You guys, Jason, thank you so much. You and your sketchy friend streaming this afternoon?
Yep. We're going to go in about 50 minutes now.
Perfect. We look forward to catching your show later today. As always, my friend, thank you for being here. You guys, thank you for watching, for joining us, being here in the chat. You guys make this so much fun. And Meg keeping it spicy in the chat. Appreciate that as well. And we'll see you very soon. If you would, please like, share, do the YouTube things. I'm terrible at self-promoting that. I'm terrible you're supposed to tell people to do it. You have this little animated graphic that comes up and tells you to like and subscribe and
smash the like button.
Yeah. I'm terrible at all of that. But anyhow, appreciate you, Jason. Thank you so much.
Same.
All right, you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Oh, I almost forgot. You guys almost let me get out of here without the Mike Porter dad joke of the day. You ready? Mike Porter dad joke. What do you call a group of freezing butchers?
I don't know.
Oh, cold cuts. Oh, there you have it. You guys, thank you for being here. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.